let's talk about Eze. I don't know how good of an analogy that is, or how crazy it is. Everyone at Arsenal love Eberechi Eze, and they view him as someone who can play left wing or left central midfield. However, as Palace want £50 million of the 60 million clause paid up front, it remains to be seen whether Arsenal will pursue him at that price. So, first of all, would you be happy with Eze as an alternative for Nico Williams, or would you actually go for Eze first because he can play both of those positions? Would you prefer a left central midfielder who can play as a left winger, or would you prefer a left winger who can also play as a right winger?
Williams all day, first and foremost. I wouldn't go for Eberechi Eze first. I would go for Williams. I think I prefer a player who has kind of specialized, and you know what to expect out of him in a certain position. And also, of course, Eze, you know what to expect out of Eze, but Odegaard plays a lot of minutes and so durable and so reliable and so important that we might bring in Eze and he just doesn't play. But also, I have another reason why I would slow down on the Eze deal. So for me, if we were to sign one of them, Williams or Eze, just go for Williams. Just try to get Williams as quickly and as hard as you can. Now, Eberechi Eze is an interesting profile. Very, very exciting player. Already at the England, national team for the Euros. That is already insane. When I think about Eze, and I did ask myself this question, don't we have Emile Smith-Rowe? Don't we have a player like that? Are they very similar? They are. Do they have their differences? They do, right? But don't we have a player like Emile Smith-Rowe? Why would I want to spend 60 million on Eberechi Eze and sell Emile Smith-Rowe for 45 million, because that's what we're going to get right now? That is pretty much bad business. That is not good business at the moment for me. So, and I'm a big fan of Emile Smith-Rowe, and I think he needs to go out there and find some game time. But if you're willing to bring in a player like Eze, give him game time. Give that game time to ESR. Again, Mikel has got to check himself and look into himself. There are times when these players just lack game time. There are times when they're just not playing. You're not trying to give them minutes. Now, Eze's versatility is something I really like. Can play on the left wing? Yes, he can. Can play left central midfield? Yes, he can. And he can also play in that number 10 with a player like Martin Odegaard not in the team. Yes, he can, right? But 50 million out of 60, up front in these PSR and FFP days, come on. Like, are you kidding me? This is a strategy, for them not to sell at the moment. I wouldn't really even advise Arsenal to look into the direction. Like, that's a crazy deal, really. For a player who's not coming straight away to start for us, like, he doesn't displace Odegaard right away. I don't think he displaces Declan Rice right away, and doesn't sit at the base of the midfield. Maybe we could make some adjustments. Declan sits at the base, and then Eze comes there. But I don't see him disrupting Partey, Odegaard, and Rice. I don't see him, destabilizing that. So at the moment, I would really go slow on that deal. Finally, I'm going to sound like, I don't know, James McLean, who said that Rice is overrated. I think there is an added layer of quality to Eberechi Eze that is not yet unlocked in his game. And I want to make it very clear. He can reach the levels that everyone says he is at. He's not yet there. He's not yet there yet. He's not there yet, right? So he's not the level of Declan Rice, please. He's not the level of Odegaard yet. He's not your, I don't think he's at that level. Moises Caicedo, when he signed for Chelsea, McAllister, he's not yet at that level. And when people talk about him, they talk about him as a player who has done it all. He's a prospect that is mind-blowing, like insane. But we have seen these prospects at times dwindle and go off. Jack Rodwell, one of the best prospects we've seen in English football. Rossi Barkley, one of the best prospects. Daniel Drinkwater, someone remember him, but somehow they disappear, right? And there's also someone called Fabian Delph. Again, one of the players that I still remember even at the time. So for me, Eze, I I would give him like 2 seasons at Crystal Palace, and we see.
Now, for Eze, for me, I feel like the number 8 position is a position that, we really need someone who can attack and also defend. Now, Eze will definitely bring more goals. He'll bring more assists into the team. Last season, he had his best goal return since he joined Crystal Palace. He's been at Crystal Palace for 4 seasons. Last season, he got double figures in terms of goals, and he was pretty much unlocked after the new coach came in. So maybe if it was not Roy Hodgson since the beginning of the season, that could have been 15 or 16. He's very good at set pieces. He's very good at corners. He's very good at free kicks. His numbers before that, I think, was 10 goals and now 11 goals. Man. He only really had a muscle injury this season that kept him out for 6 games. And then the last injury he had was around like 2021, I think, an Achilles injury or something, and he missed a lot of games. But apart from that, he's always available. He's Premier League experienced. I think if you made him available, you'd hear Tottenham want him, maybe a Liverpool want him, an Arsenal want him. Now, if they say Nico Williams, listen, Nico Williams wants 250,000 a week, but as they're settling for half of that, 125,000 a week, would that come to your mind, or do you actually think Nico Williams is worth that double wage more than Eze?
At the moment, Nico Williams is still worth that double wage for me. I still think that this Arsenal midfield, just looked at Jorginho for Italy, and I'm like, you've got 2 seasons there, bro. You've got 2 seasons. Not at Arsenal, but at least one at Arsenal, one somewhere else. There is that part of me that keeps on always hoping that Thomas Partey will be okay. Again, it's knocking on my door. But even if he's not okay, I think there is a Jorginho there. I think Arsenal will get a number 6, this summer. So I think for me, at the moment, like I told you at the beginning of this transfer window, I would spend 100 million on a left winger. I would massively upgrade that left wing. And it's kind of sad that we don't have these, mind-blowing Kylian Mbappe upgrades on the left wing. But if it was there, if we could do it, if we could go and just blow the market, like, I don't know who was the last, like, if there was a player like Alexis Sanchez right now, I would go and invest like 70, 80, 90 million in Alexis Sanchez.
He was an incredible player, man.
Incredible player. If you get like a Salah right now, a Mane right now, and place him on that left-hand side, of the Arsenal attack, we are talking different goals. We are talking about difference in terms of, attack, in terms of, quality up front, in terms of options. So for me, again, Williams at the moment, we are talking about an opportunity that we shall revisit next summer, and it has doubled. Listen, it will have doubled. It's one of those few deals that you try to do, and then you're like, we'll come back. Remember when we tried to sign Isak in January 2021? Yeah. Newcastle signed him. Now they're asking for 200 million. We should have got him then. The same happened with I think it was Pino? I think it was Jeremy Pino. Arsenal had a chance to trigger his release clause. By the time we went back, the Villarreal player. By the time we went back, Villarreal had, already agreed a new deal with them, and everything was different. And then Bruno Guimaraes had a chance to sign him at, Lyon, waited a little bit, said no, let him go to Newcastle. We wanted him. He's 100 million. So for me, at the moment, Williams, if you can get that deal done, waste no time.
Okay, now let me give you a hard one. You have to pick 2. First option or option B. First option, Osimhen and Eze. Or option B, Nico Williams and Gyökeres.
Osimhen and
see what I did there? Huh? I mixed a couple of your options in different groups, Lenny. I want to see who's your real priority.
Osimhen and Eze.
Yeah, a striker Williams, and the striker. Yeah.
Williams and Victor Gyökeres. Interesting that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because with Osimhen, there is that we have signed Osimhen element. Arsenal signed, Osimhen. It's a bit of Arsenal signed Declan Rice and then Kai Havertz. It's got that element. With Gyökeres, I would say it's like when we signed with Gyökeres and Williams. It's like when we signed Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko. Like exciting, but not to the level of Declan Rice and Julian Timber. And so I would say for this one, I would go with the Osimhen combo. Because I think Osimhen he will come good. Like he will really, 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 really come good for us. For any team that he signs for, he would come good. He's going to score those goals that and unlock players like Odegaard. I want to see Odegaard with a real striker, like not with a guy that walks and moves like Kai, but a player that makes those runs off the shoulders. I want to see how many assists he would get in a season. Like, could he unlock those Kevin De Bruyne numbers? Now, why I wouldn't go for the Gyökeres one and the Williams one? Yeah, Williams one. I like Williams. I think it's really, really an opportunity. But the striker market is bogus, and I don't expect it to come good. I don't expect it to come good. Like, if you steal Osimhen right now, you've won the striker market. Next 5 years, I don't see. Like, even at the Euros, the talents we have seen, Adagula, Jude Bellingham, Musiala, you can name them. They're not strikers. Which young number 9 have you said, whoa, we've got a very good young number 9 here? Even, has Sisco scored a goal at the Euros? No, right? So I don't think that the striker market is going to get better. So I would steal my Osimhen. I know there will be a right winger. I know there will be a time when that Kudus price comes down. I know there will be a time when Arsenal could get a winger. Wingers are there on the market. We've seen a couple of them in the Euros, even outside the Euros.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. So let us know if you're given those two options, which one you guys would go for. If you're watching this as a video for Eze and Nico Williams, make sure to check out the full podcast we've done because we've discussed Guirassy, we discussed Osimhen, we discussed who else did you cast? Gyökeres, Osimhen. Yeah, we're linked to those, and you're not being linked to a lot of players. There's some people complaining about being linked to a lot of players. No, it's the same 5-6 names. But if you're watching the full podcast, thank you for watching up until the end. We really appreciate it. Click on the link in the title to go and check out Kozi's channel. Check out the live stream we did last night to discuss the likes of Gyökeres in that video as well. Thank you for watching. Catch up with us tomorrow.